We are diving deeper into the Marzgurl's insane love of High Guardian Spice. It is so headache-inducing and tiring, but at the same time, fun at the same time, because it's fun watching somebody lose their ever-loving brains over a really subpar quote-unquote anime. Again, I want to make it clear, if you like the show, that's fine. You can like whatever you want to. But whether you like the show or hate the show, we've got to agree. Marzgurl has an unhealthy obsession for it, simply because it's LGBT. That's just weird. Roll that intro.
Guys, we've got to talk about your irrational fear of High Guardian Spice.
Just because somebody doesn't like a show doesn't mean they have an irrational fear of that show. That is so stupid. Learn what phobias are. Also, why did she use ADR right there? I mean, did she forget she was making a video on High Guardian Spice, or she said something completely different? I mean, it kind of makes sense because this is a really forgettable show.
If you aren't familiar, this is a Crunchyroll original, initially announced back in 2018 as part of Crunchyroll's new division for original content.
Yep. One of the reasons people might be pissed off at this show is because of how late it was. It was supposed to come out around 2019, like they said, but then 19, 20, 21, if you want to include 2018, 3 years. Took them 3 years to come out with this nonsense. And it wasn't even good.
And the backlash to this thing has been wild, and I mean outright absurd. I mean, if you're not going to watch it, there are a few reasonable reasons why that might be, like you're not interested in how it looks, or you wouldn't watch this genre of show in the first place.
You know, I love how, to people like Marzgurl, those are the only two legitimate reasons as to dislike this show. Let me play a clip from a YouTuber I found from looking at reviews for this show, because that's basically all I've been doing for the last week, because it's funny. Natalie X Hunter, and let's let her give the amazing listicles of reasons as to why people might dislike this show.
Hey there, this is Natalie, and welcome to a magical and whimsical school where you can become a guardian and also learn important life lessons such as the power of friendship, that bullying is wrong, and even what the word transgender means. For the first time ever, subscription-based anime platform Crunchyroll invites you to watch an original show that casts aside all of what makes anime what it is, being bold enough to say no to all those things you're tired of seeing in anime, like top-tier voice acting, great music, appealing character design, and good writing, but brave enough to say yes to things anime has never done before, like LGBT characters, female writers, and a magic school setting. And the best part is, while the original trailer from 3 years ago may have looked like an ill-advised and desperate Kickstarter project video, you don't even need to go to the trouble of backing it yourself to get this inspiring new show made. Your friends at Crunchyroll knew you'd want to, so they just went right ahead and funded it with your subscription money on your behalf. And now, it's finally here. Prepare to laugh at the best joke you'll see on Crunchyroll this year. The fact that this thing has a mature content warning before every episode. And cry when you realise somebody was paid actual money to write the terrible dialogue, and that somebody was quite often Kate #KillAllMenLeth. Then prepare to ship your favourite pair of unsexy blobby bean people. The writers were so great at fleshing out their cast that they managed to leave all the ones who aren't gay or someone's parents as plausibly bisexual, so anything could become canon in season 2. Stay tuned.
And while there's way too many stupid arguments to combat,
Oh, you mean like shoddy animation, bad perspective in the animation, bad audio mix.
Music sounds like Sonic Adventure 2 music, where the music is louder than the voice audio. You have bad dialogue, you have bad representation of LGBT people, forced representation of LGBT people, and I'm listing off all the stupid reasons, aka the reasons you don't feel like talking about because you have no reasonable or rational argument for them.
The one I hate the most come from uninformed people who argue Crunchyroll was working on this instead of more anime, that the money they spent on this could have gone to Japanese animators instead, and that their Crunchyroll premium subscriptions should be going to Japan instead.
Alright, so you're gonna go on and on and on in the future about how the money to the industry, how they have to pay a boatload of money to the industry to license one episode and crap like that. Here's the thing, let me tell you something, Marzgurl. People are pissed off that it's not even going towards Japanese animators for this particular series. They didn't use but maybe a handful of possibly Asian people for this show when doing the animation. And so, can't you kind of see where people might be pissed off at the fact that their money's not even going towards the industry for their own original shows? That's a problem. When you say you're going to help the industry, or you're going to want to help the industry, and you fail to do so, then you are going to get major backlash, and people are going to be pulling their subscriptions because their cash is not going towards what they think their cash is going towards. Crunchyroll is a bunch of bold-faced liars. They're not even good at it either.
And guys, you don't have a clue what you're...
Normally, when it comes to me, I would 100% agree with you because I'm not very knowledgeable in this stuff, but there are YouTubers upon YouTubers who've covered this exact same topic and have said the same things that I have, and it's common sense. We do know what we're talking about, Marzgurl. You don't know what you're talking about, or you just choose not to understand the argument people are making.
What you're saying. Do you legitimately think that Crunchyroll doesn't pay for the anime they have on their platform?
No, Marzgurl, nobody is saying that Crunchyroll doesn't pay for the anime that they have on their platform. If they didn't, they would be in deep shit, and they would have been canceled a long time ago by the law. We all know they do that. Look at my previous point where I listed off all the reasons people are pissed off, okay? I made this point before. I'm not going to go over this again.
It costs a wild amount of money to stream a single episode of an anime. Crunchyroll already bought the rights to do that. Speaking of the rights, there's something like 49 new anime airing this season alone, and all but about 5 of them have been licensed in North America. And come on, one of those 5 is an animated show about that Switch game fitness boxing? There's nearly 90% of all anime in a single season already licensed, and most of them already simulcast.
But okay, you want money to go into the hands of Japanese animators. Fine, I agree with you. But look, there's very little Crunchyroll can personally do about that unless they figure out a way to shake up the entire anime production system in Japan.
Ever hear somebody talk for so long that your brain just starts to short circuit after a while from sheer stupidity of what they're saying? Here's the thing. We all know for a fact Crunchyroll cannot shake up the animation industry in Japan. But what they can do is hire Japanese studios to do work on their supposed Western anime. But no, they hired people from California, which is just weird. Okay, you want to say that you're a company to help the Japanese animation industry, fine. They could have hired those studios. I mean, Disney manages to do that. Cartoon Network manages to do that. I mean, Nickelodeon manages to do that for their Western shows. Why can't Crunchyroll, the exact studio who does anime for a living? Oh, my brain is short-circuited.
This chart from the Animator Dormitory Project shows that anime studios are hired through a contract by a committee formed by a bunch of companies, and the companies try and hire a studio that'll get the job done for cheap. People will argue that if you buy merchandise like Blu-rays and collectibles, it'll help the industry, but it doesn't. It just goes to the big companies holding all the rights and then back to the committees. Studios are paid one-and-done contracts. Animators don't get paid royalties because you bought an Android. Now, Crunchyroll is on the committee for a handful of shows. That's where Crunchyroll's Originals comes in. They worked on committees to make shows like Tonikawa and So I'm a Spider, So What? But Crunchyroll is just one seat at the table filled with a bunch of other companies. In the case of Citrus, there's a total of 11 companies on that committee, so you try telling 10 other Japanese companies that have always done business this way that you want a huge budget to give to the animation studio. Even if the studio was given a bigger budget, because of the way the industry works, there's no guarantee that the studios will actually pay their animators a living wage.
You know, I wonder how companies like Disney and Nickelodeon manage to pay these people, but Crunchyroll can't seem to. I really wonder. It's just so baffling how Crunchyroll, the anime place, can't seem to pay their animators, but Disney and Nickelodeon can.
So unless you can tell me how the American company Crunchyroll can come in and completely change the way Japan's animation industry functions, I'm having a hard time understanding how the existence of High Guardian Spice takes money away from poor, starving Japanese animators. And even if Crunchyroll could be that big game changer, the next thing you'll all be saying is that you're mad that the West came in and changed the way that anime works.
I'm physically getting a headache the more I listen to Marzgurl speak. I really am. We're not asking them to shake things up. We're just asking them to pay their animators. It's not that hard. Or hire Japanese animators for their shows, which they didn't. It's an IMDb. They did not do that at all.
While we're at it, none of you were mad about that Onyx Equinox show, or
Never heard of it.
Or that Crunchyroll has streamed Ruby for years.
Maybe because Ruby was a much better show than High Guardian Spice. Ever think of that?
You pay $10 a month to have access to over 1,000 different anime, but because this one show exists, you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Absurd.
Maybe it's not just because of the show. Maybe it was because of the virtue signaling. Maybe it was because of the we're better than you stuff. Maybe it's because Kate Leth said she wants to K-A-M. You put into that what you want. I'm not going to get in trouble with the algorithm. Maybe it's because these are a bunch of literal blue hair, man-hating, radical feminists making a show that LGBT people don't seem to like. I know, I've seen videos of them hating the show. Does not do well story-wise. The animation's complete crap. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is literally a PNG of bread slapped on to a cartoon. And there's a lot of other shiz that does not align. Can I help you, Mr. Helicopter Man? Are you done? Okay, cool. And there's a lot of other reasons why people don't like this show. Reasonable reasons that they're canceling their subscriptions. This one show has pissed off a lot of people on all sides of the spectrum, and it's not good. It's not good. People don't want to support a company that talks down to their consumer base. We've seen it with Marvel, we've seen it with DC, we've seen it with Warner Brothers, and now we're seeing it with Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Absolutely ludicrous.
Yes, Marzgurl, you most certainly are, because you do not even know why people are angry at Crunchyroll for doing the stuff that they do. If it was just another dumb show, fine, whatever. But it was the lies, it was the deceit, it was the holier-than-thou attitude, it was the fact that this was a self-insert vanity project for the creator of the show. It was the fact that the LGBT representation was piss poor at best. And a whole plethora of other things. Natalie X Hunter did a great job explaining what this was. If I can remember, I will link her videos. She's made two. One regarding the show itself, and then another regarding one that I need to see, Kate Leth herself. Or actually, oddly enough, himself, because I think she's transitioning. Yes, the kill all, you know what, I might as well say it, I already blurted it out. The kill all men lady is actually transitioning to be a man. That's so ironic. So, yeah, there are a lot of reasons we don't like this show, and it's completely understandable why we don't like it. High Guardian Spice is a total dumpster fire that people have a right to be pissed off at, but you only view it as the straight men disliking the show, and completely ignore the LGBT people that have a massive problem with this. But that's how you work. Because if you actually looked at the LGBT people that didn't like this show, and you actually listened to the LGBT people that didn't like this show, a lot of which are feminists like you are, Marzgurl, you would actually have to step back and be like, maybe my entire argument is wrong. It would completely shatter your whole worldview on this situation. There are animators that are a lot more knowledgeable in the industry than I am. I'm just a dude on the internet with a camera phone talking into the void. But I've listened and I've understood what people say about this show and about the industry itself. You don't know as much as you think you do, Marzgurl. Doing a couple of Google clicks does not make you intelligent, just like it doesn't make me intelligent. Although I will probably look for links that will better understand things, except for, unlike you just doing a couple clicks to fill your preconceived notions and your biases. But plenty of people hate the show that are of LGBT. You just don't care. Thank you guys for watching the show. I appreciate it. If you liked it, do all that stuff. Do all the stuff they do at the end of the video. I appreciate you guys so much. Take care. God bless.